Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Let's Play Planet Coaster Christmas Wonderland here on Theme Park Worldwide. To start this episode, I'm going to be completing the large dark ride, which is located within the Santa's Village themed area of Christmas Wonderland. And as you can see, starting off here in the large show scene, this is the second to last scene inside the ride. It's the tallest scene. It's going to have a lot of decorations, Christmas trees, lights, and plenty of presents, all them different gifts that are waiting to be sent out on Santa's sleigh from Santa's workshop. So that's what the first part of this episode is going to be, completing this dark ride. I'll reveal the name and storyline that I've chosen out of all the ones that you guys have been commenting on last week's episode. And then in the second part of this episode, I'm going to be working on a large new roller coaster, which is going to be a signature ride here at the park, also part of the Santa's Village themed area. So really exciting, action-packed episode, longest episode of the series so far. And of course, this will mean the halfway point of this series as well. I tell you what though, in 5 episodes, really feel like we've managed to accomplish quite a lot in terms of all the different rides, a nice variety of flat rides and dark rides. It's now time for a coaster or a couple of coasters in this park. Starting off with one that's going to be built later in this episode. We're then going to open the park in episode 6, and then after that I'm going to be starting work on some more flat rides and another coaster as well. So lots to look forward to. We've reached the halfway point in the series, but you know what? There's still a lot more to look forward to here from Christmas Wonderland, taking us all the way up through the rest of November into December and then up to the end of 2020. And what a 2020 it's been. Fingers crossed for a better year next year for all of us, eh? Fingers crossed. As you can see then, in the large show scene just here, lots of different coloured presents. We've got blue, green, yellow, red, all sorts of different colours in there. I want this room to be really bright, really magical. Of course, you're going to head through here as your final part of your tour around Santa's workshop here in the North Pole. So I wanted it to be very vibrant, lots going on. And as you can see, that's the case with all the different lighting and trees in there. As I've mentioned before, when I'm building my dark rides, I like to really keep the roof off for the majority of the time until near the end when I need to put the roof on. It's just so much easier to work on a dark ride when you've not got the large roof up the top. It's so much easier just to place the items in and know where you want to put things. So that's my advice for you if you are building dark rides in Planet Coaster. You don't have to do it like that. Some people might find it easier to put the full show building in first and work with it that way, but for me I find it much easier keeping the roof off because you can just see, like here now I'm placing all the lighting into that large show scene. You can see exactly what you're doing in there, and then you can put the roof on and then think about lighting and decorations or theming on the roof of the building. But yeah, look at that, it's very bright, very magical, lots going on in there, all the candy canes flashing, the Christmas lights all flashing as well, and we're putting in these park hands all throughout, different colours just shine on the walls, because of course it's going to be very merry, very happy, this ride, and then you're going to come into this big finale show scene. You're going to be amazed, like the kids are going to love it, but the adults would be really surprised too when they go into there and think, blimey, look at this, there's so much going on in this workshop. And that's why I wanted a lot of movement, a lot of lighting changes, and the audio will also reflect that in there as well. Whilst I was working on some more of the lighting, just thought I'd put some in around here as well in the scene just beforehand. Of course, all sorts of machinery and stuff in there, so I thought let's put the red lights spinning around in there just to add a little bit more movement into that scene as well. Once I completed that, I then started to work on the finale scene for the ride. Very similar to that first scene as soon as you come out of the station, this one. Of course, just taking you back. Like this is a journey all within one building where you're going to go through the snow to Santa's workshop in the North Pole, and then you're going to come out of that building and be transformed and back into Santa's village, you know. So that's the whole sort of plan with this. And as you can see, that's why I'm putting in all the snow. and all the trees in here. We're going to have some snowmen in here as well, as you can see, just putting them into place. Just tried to light that one up. So when you're coming through the large factory scene, through the candy canes, you can just see a snowman down at the end. Thought that'd be quite a nice little touch for that one, just to put that together. But yeah, it's coming together nicely. Of course, now I've put the roof panels on, put some more of the snow across just there, just to block it in. Like I mentioned in the previous episode, I did think about putting like a star cloth on the ceiling, like using the square star tiles for like a night sky, but I thought, no, let's go full on snow, just like the sky is full of snow waiting to fall down. I just thought it was a little bit more magical and would fit with this. That's why we've gone for that. Of course, we've got like the sunset scene as well, which is in the first of the snow scenes on your way to the workshop. And I thought we'd maybe do something similar in here, with the sky just full of snow and all the snow machines and effects in there as well. Just thought I'd put this little porch area in with some lights on, just so you can see it in the distance when you turn the corner. And that's you return back from Santa's workshop in the North Pole, of course, back into the station area. Just putting in some more bits of snow all the way around as well, just to sort of fill in some of the gaps all the way around there. Now, in terms of a name and storyline for this dark ride, I tell you what, you guys have been absolutely amazing with coming up with names and storylines. I've loved so many of them, and I've actually picked two. I've picked, of course, the main name itself and the storyline from two different people, because I thought, you know what, I really like both of these, so I'm going to go through them now. So Adventure Aiden came up with a really good name for this that I thought just reflected it nicely. Santa's Adventure, a Magical Wonderland. I just really liked that. I thought it fit together nicely. It wasn't too overcomplicated either, and it explained exactly what it is. It's an adventure and it's Wonderland. It all comes together. So Santa's Adventure, a Magical Wonderland. So thanks for that one, Aiden. And this is quite funny. Another adventure channel this time, and this is Adventure Enthusiast, who has come up with a fantastic storyline for this dark ride. So I'm going to read out this storyline for you now, just so that you can hear it. Of course, I'm just finishing off the show building here, putting some more roof tiles in, and shortly I'll be moving on to the queue line as well, just to put some theming in there, as you'll see, as I'm reading out this story. So here we go. Really nice one, this. Santa Claus has always marvelled at his magnificent workshop, which he has kept hidden deep in the North Pole from the rest of the world for many years. After a lengthy discussion with his wife, Mrs. Claus, Santa has decided to finally open his workshop so that others can enjoy his life's work and gain satisfaction from the hearty smiles on people's faces as they whiz and whirl through the many rooms on show. He's even decided to bring in a few touch-ups to keep up with the modern times, such as robotic wrappers, but don't tell Mrs. Claus. And there you go, that's the storyline for Santa's Adventure, a Magical Wonderland, here at Christmas Wonderland. I'm really pleased with that. I think it comes together nicely. Another reason why I thought I'd pick the name Santa's Adventure, a Magical Wonderland, is that with it having Wonderland at the end, it fits in nicely with the park, and with this being that sort of signature ride that a lot of people have been looking forward to, I thought it'd fit in really well. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Thank you very much to Adventure Aiden and Adventure Enthusiast from me, Adventure Sean. There we go, a little plug for my other channel, why not? If you haven't already gone and seen it, check it out. There's loads of content on there on Adventure Sean, approaching nearly 50,000 subscribers on there as well. I can't believe it. So thank you so much for all of your support, really do appreciate it. There's videos on there from Paris, New York, London, Scotland, and so much more. So make sure that you go and check them out. As you can see then, putting them finishing touches into the queue line, and you know what that means? It's nearly time for a ride on Santa's Adventure, a Magical Wonderland. Looking forward to seeing how this all comes together now with the audio. I've done a bit of audio spiel from me as well, a bit of narration, so I hope that you enjoy that. I know that a lot of you find it quite funny and amusing. We've only got to look back at the Jaws ride a few years back, but that's what it's all about. I don't like to take things too seriously. It's about having fun, having a laugh, and with this, getting you into the Christmas mood. So here we go, get ready, come and take a ride on Santa's Adventure, a Magical Wonderland, here at Christmas Wonderland. everyone, my name's Timothy. Come and step on board the sleigh. It's time for a magical adventure to begin. Now it's important that you remain seated, keeping them arms and legs inside the sleigh at all times. Now have you heard the news? I'm so excited. Santa has opened his workshop for everyone to enjoy. After a lengthy discussion with his wife, Mrs. Claus, they've agreed to finally open up the workshop for us to enjoy. Look at all the snowmen and look at that beautiful sunset. It really is a splendid evening to travel here through the North Pole. Look, here it is, Santa's workshop. Let's head inside. Look at how magical it is. I've dreamt of seeing this place for so many years. And finally, thanks to Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, we can finally be here to discover it all.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!
Wow! Look at all of the presents. And what are the machines doing over there? Now, Santa told me that he's been working on some brand new robots to help him and the elves. So I imagine that's what we can all see here. How amazing is it? Oh, wow. It looks fantastic, doesn't it?
Happy Holidays!
Look at all of those presents and Christmas trees. This really is the perfect Christmas dream. To finally be able to step inside Santa's workshop and see all of this is fantastic. Thank you so much, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. We're really enjoying our trip here to your magnificent workshop.
Merry Christmas!
I love candy canes, don't you, boys and girls? It looks like our trip to the Wonderland has come to an end. We've got to leave the workshop now and head back through the North Pole. What an absolutely fantastic adventure. Thank you so much, Santa and Mrs. Claus. I've behaved this year and I hope I get all the presents that I've wanted. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure and this unique opportunity to step inside Santa's workshop. Goodbye, everybody. My name's been Timothy, and have a great day here at Christmas Wonderland.
Happy Holidays!
And there we have it, Santa's Adventure, a magical wonderland, the big new dark ride here at Christmas Wonderland. Can't wait to get the guests on there in the next episode. I'm sure they're all going to really enjoy that and get them in the Christmas mood. I just want to say a big thank you once again to everyone for their awesome name and storyline suggestions for that. It was so hard to pick, it always is, but you know what? I get so much enjoyment reading through them all and seeing what you guys think. So thank you so much. Anyway, you're going to have another chance to name an attraction now. Working on a big new family roller coaster for the park. We're halfway into the series. I've not built a roller coaster yet until now, and this is going to be a big one. This isn't going to be a small ride. It's going to be a 3-lift-hill Vekoma mine train that's got the swinging cars on there as well. Who's been to Walt Disney World and been on the Seven Dwarfs mine train? It's a fantastic attraction that utilizes really good technology where the vehicles actually swing side to side. Vekoma did a fantastic job with it. I really enjoy it. It's also at Shanghai Disneyland in China as well. Brilliant ride. Disney are the only ones to actually have that ride system still at the moment, but I tell you what, it's brilliant, and I thought that would be perfect for a nice Christmas themed roller coaster here in this park. Now, this isn't going to be some small ride. It's actually going to be one of the biggest family coasters I've ever built in Planet Coaster, and it's going to fit all on that right hand side of where the dark ride is that we've just built, and also out the front here as well. So you can see the first lift hill's gone into place, and then I'm starting to work on the track. Now, we don't want anything too intense because it is a family coaster. I want to make sure that a lot of families can enjoy it with it being a family park. We will put something a bit more thrilling in later on in the series, but I thought for now let's get a nice big signature family coaster in. So you can see it drops down there to the left straight into a downward helix. There's going to be some nice pops of airtime, and this is going to be very heavily themed. A lot of terraforming is going to be done all the way around this in terms of there's going to be some mountains, there's going to be lots of drops into tunnels and that sort of idea, near miss elements, head choppers, the lot. It's going to be a complete package family experience that we're putting together here. So yeah, as you can see, the ride's testing as I'm building it. That's the beauty of Planet Coaster. You know, you can run the ride just to see how fast you want it to go. And I'm actually going to share with you 2 POVs towards the end of this episode that's going to include a front row POV and a POV from the back as well, just to give you an idea. With it having the swinging vehicles on this, I thought, you know what, I'm going to show it you from the back so you can see the swinging trains in action. So this is the point now where I'm digging down a little bit. We're going to go straight up into lift hill number 2. Of course, the ride had started to lose a bit of momentum here. With it being a nice Vekoma mine train, let's have a couple of lift hills, of course, in there for this one. So yeah, it's going to have 3 in total, 2 here so far. This is going to drop round to the left-hand side. Got to be quite careful here with the theming around this because I am very close to the perimeter edge of the park. You can see the dashed line there. I can't build anything past there at all, so I need to make sure that it stays this side of the perimeter. But I wanted it in this location. I thought I kind of like some boundaries when I build a coaster as well, because you know kind of what size you can go for, and if you just build it on a big open plot of land in the game, sometimes you can, you know, you really struggle. Whereas here I've got boundaries. I knew that I wanted my first section to be this side of the dark ride, the first couple of lift hills there, and then have it extend around the back of Santa's Adventure and Magical Wonderland. So nice pop of airtime there. I've had another helix that's gone into place, another downward helix there after that first drop. So yeah, that should be pretty good when we've got all the theming in. You've got to bear in mind at the moment there's going to be parts of track that are still underneath the snow and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you know, you've got to bear in mind that isn't going to be the case once all the terraforming has gone into place. You can kind of see actually there's going to be a big mountain over them first 2 lift hills there. The first one won't be covered up too much because I'm going to do a lot of theming around this, but the second one is going to be all inside this mountain. In terms of this ride, as much as we're in a very snowy climate, it would be a fake mountain built around this. It's not being built on a real snowy hill. Yeah, you know, I don't think that would be the safest for a coaster, do you? But yeah, of course, with this, it's going to have quite a lot of indoor sections. There's going to be little log cabins around the ride. There's going to be trees, just to put it all together and be a very heavily themed and enjoyable experience. A little bit of airtime then, and we're going with another helix there underneath that airtime hill that I've put into place. You may notice that I'm not really banking the corners too much. That's because the trains on this coaster are very clever. Like I say, they actually tilt side to side, they rock. So I thought we can, you know, we don't need to bank things too much actually, because we want to still get quite a lot of that rocking, and you'll see that when I show you the POV, especially the POV towards the back of the train. Really gives you a good perspective. Lots of aerial shots of this coaster going in. I really wanted it to fit nicely in with what we've put together so far. I also didn't want it to be too tall, hence why I went for 3 lift hills instead of 1 really tall one. And I think that's more realistic with this style of coaster as well. You have multiple lift hills and part of the story, part of the show scenes that are going to happen. Bit of an overbank going into place there. Of course, using the smoothing tool there as well, you can smooth just the banking or the corners if you want to, or you can smooth it all. And I'll be going over all the track and just using the smoothing tool before I show you the POV as well, just to give you a bit of an idea on. Of course, you don't have to be perfect at coaster building. I'm certainly not. There's people who can build coasters better than me, but I just like to create an experience when I do something. It's not just about the ride for me, it's about the overall package and experience. You can see there, every so often I'll test something and think, yeah, it doesn't move at the speed that I want it to there, let's lower it down. That's the case with this section. You know, nobody's perfect with building coasters. Like, you've just got to have a practice. Practice makes perfect, and you've got to have a go with these things. But in terms of the layout for this, big long family coaster, signature ride, perfect. It means we're going to be opening this park in the next episode with this big coaster, 2 dark rides and a selection of flats as well. So quite a nice variety of rides. Of course, there won't be any water rides going into this park, with it being a very cold climate. There'll be no water rides going in. But overall, pretty nice ride lineup, and that'll be the case with episode 6. I'll be finishing off this coaster first, showing you the finished ride with the POV once all the theming's in. I'll then also be revealing the name and also the storyline, and then we'll be opening the park. Finally, opening the park to get some guests in, and we'll see throughout episode 6. We'll see how it operates with guests inside, and then I'll start to think about the next stages of the development process. So as you can see, the layout's complete, so I'm just using the smoothing tool now, just to go over the track, just to make sure that it is how I want it to be. But you've got to be really careful with the smoothing tool that you don't do it too much either. You don't want to smooth all of the time, because it will take all your drops out, it'll take all your transitions out, and yeah, it just won't be the layout that you designed. It'll be pretty flat and boring. So you just want to be careful. Sometimes you want to use smooth all, but you just want to be really careful once that you're pressing that to make sure that it's okay. If you are using the smoothing tool, I know a lot of you are playing Planet Coaster at the moment. A lot of people who've fallen back in love with the game after not really playing it much this year. It seems like in the comments a lot of you have really got back into it, and of course now it's out on console as well. A lot of people are really enjoying that, which is fantastic. So it's going to be running a 3-train operation, this 3 lift hills, 3 trains, constantly moving round. Of course, wanting to make sure that the trains aren't stopping on the lift hills for the block sections. We can get it moving all the way round. And the queue line is starting to go into place here, and like I say, that's going to interact with the coaster itself, as we can see here. That part of the queue line where it does that turnaround, that's going to be inside this mountain. We've lowered some of the terrain there to get it underneath the coaster. We'll fill all that in with rock work all the way around there as well. And all the theming's really going to come together in the next episode for this one. But yeah, I just wanted to put the queue line in before we start doing some terraforming. One of my favourite things in Planet Coaster is how you can use the terraforming tool. It really is fantastic to put it all together. But before that, I think we should have a nice ride on it, starting off with a front row ride on this 3 lift hill special. Hey, here we go, hands in the air. It's the closest we're going to be getting to a coaster ride here in the UK for a little while, so we've got to make the most of it. And here we go. So down that first drop, nice smooth there, not really building up too much speed as we go up there and down into that helix, back underneath the track there, up into some airtime before dropping down. As we can see, nice and smooth family coaster, dropping down again into a turnaround section. You can tell that we're tilting on the trains, but hey, bit of snow on the track there. That'll need clearing. You can tell that the trains are tilting, but like I say, you'll tell in a moment from the back row POV that I'll show you how much movement there is. Off that second lift hill, downward helix to the right. Oh yes, very nice. Of course, there's going to be all tunnels and going through the mountain on this. Oh, it looks so festive with the sunshine up there as well. Bit of airtime as we've just banked round to the left. Another downward helix back under the track. And going up into the third and final lift hill for the ride, the big climax of this attraction. Oh, look at the sun. Looks so festive, doesn't it? Saying that, it was nice and frosty here this morning, here in Staffordshire in the UK. Not quite like that, though. Hopefully we'll get snow at Christmas. There we go, down that big drop into that overbank to the left. Great view of the show building there for Santa's adventure. There we go, building up quite a bit of speed, turning into that there. And then down another drop into that final corner to the left. And then some nice little bunny hops at the end there. Hey, airtime! Double bunny hop and down, of course, into the brake run. And then we slowly turn round into the station. Really nice long ride. Wanted it to feel a bit like Expedition Everest, Big Thunder Mountain, that sort of idea. But of course, we've got the nice swinging trains, as we're going to see better now from this back row POV. So up we go, hands in the air again. If they're not aching, and you'll really start to see now if you watch the car in front, there you go, how it tilts and turns on the corners. Really nice. It doesn't even have to build up too much speed. Look at that banking, look at that. Fantastic. Doesn't even need to build up too much speed for it to bank, which is great. Keeps it really nice and smooth. There we go. Oh, look at that. Brilliant technology. Like I say, I've done both, the one at Shanghai Disneyland and at Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. Really enjoy the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I'd love to see more of these out there, actually. Here we go, down that second lift hill, down the drop. It's great on the helixes. Like, look at that. It really adds a new dimension to it. Brilliant, and it keeps it really nice and smooth as well. Fantastic. Hey, bit of airtime. Down then into another helix, back under the track. And yeah, if you look at that sort of straight wooden brown line that there is there in the middle, just underneath the white dot, if you kind of watch that, it shows you how much it's tilting. Like if you watch it now when we go down this drop and into the overbank, you'll really get an idea for that. There you go, that shows just how much it's tilting. Oh, look at that, fantastic. Really nice family coaster, and that's without the theming. It doesn't really need theming this one for it to be a good ride, but you know what, we're going to enhance the experience. You know me, I like to theme things up, and you're really going to start to see that come together in the final few minutes here of episode 5, and then in episode 6 we'll finish this and we'll get some guests in instead of these water dummies that are probably a bit fed up of going round. It's a bit like 13 at Alton Towers this season, all them water dummies going round all year. But yes, let's start on the terraforming, which is one of my favourite things in the game. I love this tool. It's brilliant, it really is. And what I've done now is switch the settings around, so that of course it's actually going to create the tunnels over the track, like you can see here. Now, the things with terraforming is it's going to take ages to get things to look right. You know, like look at that, you know, you don't want to just have it all straight up and into a mountain, because that doesn't look great. But you've kind of got to do that first to get the shape, and as you can see now, we can mold it, we can change the size, we can change the intensity of the terraforming, just to make it look more realistic as well. So yeah, all this is coming together. But like I say, you can change the settings in the game, which actually means that you can either have it like this, where it'll build tunnels over the track, or you can have it that you can build right up and over the track and just sort of use your keen eye to have a look at where it needs to go. I wanted this bit's very much inspired by Expedition Everest here, the way it's coming out of the mountain, down, and then banks round to the left-hand side into a helix. That's kind of inspired by Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom, of course, at Walt Disney World. And I thought you'd get a really good view of that as well when you're walking into the park. You'd just see it off to the right-hand side. Like I say, all of this would be fake if this was a real park. It wouldn't actually be built on a real snowy mountain, as much as we're in a snowy climate. It would all be fiberglass rocks and all that sort of stuff all the way around this. Part of the queue line's going to be in there as well, all covered over, and there's going to be quite a lot of landscaping going in here as well. We're going to be having some trees put all over it. Along with that, there's going to be some like wooden shacks and log cabins all the way around there as well. So that's the plan for this one. But like I say, with the terraforming, it takes a while to sort of put it all together. I've already been working in real time here on the terraforming for maybe about 30 minutes just to see where we're up to now. You've seen it all in about 3 minutes, but you know, obviously with me speeding it up, you don't want to watch me for that long messing about with it all, but that's how long it can take to get it right. As you can see, building tunnels over parts of the track. We also need to think about this coaster operating in these colder temperatures, covering over any of the workings of the ride, like the brake run, for example, that'll have some sort of wooden cover over. And we also want to make sure that we theme up the back of the show building for Santa's Adventure as well. We need to make sure that that's all themed, so we can that looks a lot better from the back as well, and we're not going around this coaster through all this wonderful mountain and snowy landscape and just seeing an ugly show building from the back. So to be honest, that's kind of why I put the nice roof on this, to make sure that we could see it nicely from the back as well, because obviously I knew that I was going to be putting this big coaster here, and that you're going to see it well from the back. I tell you what though, it really gives you an idea on the scale of this ride. It's massive, isn't it? It takes up a big footprint. Big Thunder Mountain, it doesn't really have that large of a footprint really. A lot of it's built on top of each other. With this, I wanted to go big. Go big or go home with this one. Massive family coaster for a big Christmas family park, and that's exactly what I've put together with all of this around here. Just doing some more of the terraforming there around lift 3. That's all going to be covered indoors. But like I say, at first when you're putting in all the hills and stuff, you think, oh, you know, it doesn't look great. I mean, look at the shape of that. It doesn't look great at all, does it? But you've just got like, look at that. You know, you've just got to really mess with it and spend time using the intensity tool just to get it right. I know quite a lot of people, and I had a little experiment actually, like doing like a shape of like a person or an animal using the terraforming tool, and you can do it, and it's great. I did like a big crocodile mouth mouth actually, which looked really good. Just having a bit of a mess about in the game, not in a series or anything, just having to play about with stuff. Like, you know, it's good to with this game. You've got to have a little bit of a play just to see what you know, you can utilize in when I do the series. But yeah, you know, the terraforming tool is brilliant, and as you can see, it's starting to come together nicely now. Just want to make sure it's not too flat on this side. I can't really go to town with that because I've built it really close to the edge there, but we can still utilize it in the way that I want to and make it look great. Of course, we can change the terrain itself and put some more snow instead of the ice on there, and this is going to have a really nice lighting package all the way around the ride as well. Lots of blue lighting as you're going through. So of course I'm going to need a name for this and also a basic storyline. So think about it, it's still in the Santa's village themed area of the park, but yes, we're going on this big adventure through this snowy mountain, 3 Lift Hill Vekoma special. That's what we all love, and I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. But there we go. Thank you very much for joining me here for episode 5, the halfway point of Christmas Wonderland. But you know what that means, we're 5 weeks closer to Christmas than when I started this, so here we go. I'm sure you're all excited for it. Let me know your thoughts on the dark ride and this coaster. Look at that. It's going to be a brilliant ride, this, when I put it together. My biggest family coaster I've ever built in the game, and it's certainly going to be fantastic. So thank you very much for joining me, Sean Sandbrook, here on Theme Park Worldwide for Christmas Wonderland. As always, I'll be back next Wednesday with another brand new episode, episode 6 in this series. And of course, I'm going to be starting to open the park and get some guests inside after I've finished this pretty large dark ride and roller coaster that we've put together in this episode. I mean, it looks great. We want to get some guests in. The dark ride needs a bit of theming on the back, just so we can see it nicer from the coaster. And of course, the rest of the coaster's theming as well. So there we go. Look at that, how it's coming together. Thanks for watching. I'm Sean Sandbrook, and that leaves me with one more thing to say. Get out there and keep on riding. See you next week.